about Russell Wilson, and we made it up to be about Russell Wilson. But was there a small part of you that just wanted to, win this game just for him, considering how much they booed him and everything?
Well, I had the chance to win it.
Yeah,
but no, he's an incredible quarterback, and had a great career here, I guess you could say. And he's an incredible leader, and look forward to us getting better each and every day. Would have been great, obviously, to start off 1-0 for the season. Bonus would have been beating his old team, but just got to get back in the lab and keep working and get better.
All right, Brandon, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best of luck the rest of the way. That's Broncos kicker Brandon McManus as the Broncos drop a heartbreaker tonight, 17-16 here in Seattle. We'll have more from the Broncos locker room coming up. First two plays, they go right to you, right?
Yeah, it was exciting. It was exciting for the coaches to kind of put me in that position. But yeah.
And you were really laying some wood in the blocking game, right? I mean, out of that fullback position. How has that adjustment been for you?
I love it. I love it. Coach Moreland, Coach Wheatley, kind of everybody in the entire offensive staff has done a great job of coaching me to do that. Obviously, not, something I'm kind of used to, something I've been doing for a little bit, but I really enjoy it, and very appreciative for a staff and a scheme that kind of uses that position.
We were talking to Melvin a little bit, and he said, "We didn't lose this game. We beat ourselves." Is that how you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. We got to finish in the red zone. Going over in the red zone is never going to be acceptable. We know that. Everybody in the locker room, everybody in the building knows that. The good news is it's fixable. It's week one. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So we put ourselves in a good position, to come into such a hostile environment with, a new team, a new coach, new staff, new ownership. And like I said, that hostile of an environment, and to play it as close as we did, we'll hang our heads for a couple minutes, we'll break down the film, and we'll be fired up for next week because, we're really not in a bad spot. It's week one. So.
Andrew, thanks for joining us. You want to say hi to everyone at Fort Carson?
Yeah, absolutely. Fort Carson, Buckley, kind of, everywhere up in Alaska. Went up there for the USO tour this offseason. So, yeah, shout out to all those people, man.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you. Hey, Danny, we'll send it back to you. That's Broncos tight end Andrew Beck, who had, surprisingly, a pretty good game. He was an integral part of the offense. We'll send it back to you.
By the way, Bradley Chubb is at the podium. Let's go to him right now.
I think we got in our groove, man. I think we kind of got the jitters out. Not like trying to do too much. We just played within the defense and did everything we did, and I feel like it just started working out for us. And I feel like in the first half our communication might have been lacking, and guys were just kind of all over the place. You know what I mean? But when we tuned it in, when we talked to Coach E at halftime, we got it all back on track. I feel like.
Josie Jewell not being out there kind of affect the communication? Alex played a lot in the last game.
No, I wouldn't say that. Alex did an amazing job. Him and Jonas did amazing jobs at the inside linebacker position. We missed Josie for sure. You know what I'm saying? That presence he brings, but I wouldn't say that because he was out that it was lacking. Yeah, it was good to see. Good to have success in the pass game and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I want to do it for all 4 quarters. I feel like I just did it for 2. You know what I mean? I want to get back to being the full dominant, all the entire game type guy. So I just got to get better from that.
How nice was that? I hope Randy Gregory rushing opposite you for the whole thing.
It was huge, man. Just that you see him on that first drive, push 67 back, and kind of get into the lap of Geno, and kind of set the tone for me and for us as edge rushers and stuff like that. We know when you got a guy rushing like that on the other side, you just want to beat him to the quarterback. You want to be the first one there. He pushes me. He pushes everybody on that D-line, so it's great to have him back.
Randy, you guys obviously had quite a few penalties tonight, especially on defense, catch you drive the line. As a captain of this team, what do you say to the guys this week to get back on track?
We just got to hone it in, man. Just can't be sloppy, you know what I mean? Got to practice how we want to play. Coach always says our preparation equals our game reality. And I feel like sometimes during the week we might have slid by those penalties. Like we saw those penalties happen. We might have slid by. We might have not addressed it as we should have. But, I mean, at the end of the day, as a captain, as a leader, you got to be the one to have those hard conversations and make sure we get back on track.
What was the atmosphere like with Russell's return, opener Monday night, all that?
It was cool. It was cool just to see the Seahawks fans gravitate towards hating them and booing them.
Well, that
and
was
stuff
Bradley
like that.
Chubb. Rob Namnoom is in the Broncos locker room. Again, they lose this one 17-16. Let's go check in with Rob.
Week one, kind of working out the kinks a little bit, maybe not playing as much in the preseason as maybe you would have liked, or?
Oh, no, man, it's not a point the finger thing. So we should have played in the preseason. Nah, you don't. That's not what you do.
Yeah.
Once you got a game plan, you stick to it. We didn't play in the preseason, and it's okay. Like, we bounced back pretty well in the second half. It just comes down to just, eliminating those explosive plays, turnovers, obviously. And, just making sure we're just executing on both sides of the football. We both did things that are a little shaky, but, that's the luxury of having 17 games, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The first game is low-key like a preseason, so we got a chance to,
go 16-1, right?
got a hell of a chance to do it.
Especially with what you saw maybe offensively from your team. I mean, maybe
they look great. 410 yards, that's elite offense. We just got to just make sure we finish. And that was our problem today. We didn't finish, so the outcome is the outcome.
You look great, though, in the fourth quarter. You got some pressure on Geno. Bradley had a couple of sacks. It seemed like maybe you guys turned that corner a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to do it. Seattle did their thing. They played smart. They didn't really drop back and pass and air it out. They played a lot of RPO zones and having the running back play the piano a little bit, not really just hitting the hole. They played smart and safe football. They won.
And Geno was efficient, hitting the flats, hitting the crossing routes. Like you said, he wasn't trying to
go for the long ball. It wasn't none of that. He plays, smart football. Take your reads when you got them. I don't think there's a pass over 20 yards or if that, or 15.
So with that in mind, is that maybe why he didn't get the pressure early on, just because he was getting it out so quickly? Maybe fans are watching like, why aren't they getting after him, right? But he's dumping it off every three-step drop.
If you look at the time he has the ball in his hands, I think they would tell the story a little bit more. I think all of us had a good job where we had points where we did win. And that's the most important thing early on. Make sure you win in your one-on-one. We have the opportunity to, or just like generating something. It's not being stalemate at the line. I think we all individually did a good job of doing that.
Last question for you, Draymond. You've been with this team for quite a while, and I know losing stinks. But what's the difference that you noticed just from even tonight, people's approach? It seems like everyone's like, we beat ourselves more than they beat us. Not to make excuses, but that seems like that's the sentiment.
Yeah, zero. That's not an excuse. That's a fact. When you beat yourself, it shows. In certain situations, you can. There was not a point where you're like, Seattle Seahawks. No, credit.
Sure.
They won.
You're not knocking them.
Yeah, I'm not knocking them at all. But they didn't dominate us, and so at the end of the day, what happens? You kind of beat yourself a little bit.
You're on to Houston.
On to Houston. I'm not really worried about it.
Okay.
I think everybody, which it hasn't been in a couple of years, everybody's pretty positive. No one's like really down or moping around. Everybody's like, we know what we did. We can't wait to see the film. We're gonna make this correction. And on to Houston. We know Houston's a good team. They just tied, so I'm ready for them.
All right, Draymond, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And it was a rough opener for the Broncos. They lose a 17-16 heartbreaker to the Seahawks. Sports director Rob Namnoom is in Seattle plotting his revenge. Rob, what's up?
Yeah, Danny, you're absolutely right. Let me tell you, I was a little bit surprised tonight. After what Russell Wilson did for the city for a decade, and I know I'm sounding like a homer right now, but just to boo him relentlessly. And even he just joked about 10 minutes ago at the podium that he goes, I thought maybe I'd get a little bit of applause. He got absolutely zero as the Seahawks ruined his homecoming tonight. Now, we saw the Broncos kind of trip over their own feet time and time again. The red zone, the dread zone for them tonight. They fumbled twice within the red zone. But they still had a chance late in the game with perhaps the best kicker in the NFL in Brandon McManus. And Russell Wilson, short time ago, talked about how they felt so good about McManus's chance to sending them home with a victory.
He said, we said, where can you make it from tonight? And he said 46 left hash. I think we were on the 46, right? 46 left hash. That was before the drive. And we got it there. Unfortunately, it didn't go in. I think he has a leg for it, for sure. Just went a little left, I believe. And just, in terms of, I believe in Coach Hackett. I believe in what we're doing, and believe in everything. And, anytime you can try to find a way to make a play on 4th and 5, that's great too. But also, I don't think it was the wrong decision. I think he can make it. Obviously, in hindsight, we didn't make it. But if we were in that situation again, I wouldn't doubt whatever he decided.
Yeah, Russell Wilson talking about the decision when it was 4th and 5. Remember, they let the clock wind down to about 20 seconds, called timeout, brought out Brandon McManus instead of perhaps going for it on 4th and 5. Now, speaking of McManus, if you watched our post-game show, I spoke one-on-one with Brandon McManus, the thought process before the kick. Remember, he got the practice kick, and then the second kick that he kicked looks oh so good. As Russell Wilson just said, had the leg, but it just wasn't enough for B-Mac.
Better each and every day. Would have been great, obviously, to start off, 1-0 for the season. Bonus would have been beating his old team, but just got to get back in the lab and keep working and get better.
Oh, the old working in the lab. I wonder where Brandon McManus got that from. Oh, yeah, his good buddy Von Miller used to say that time and time again after a loss. Time to go back to the lab. Well, it is time for the Denver Broncos to go back to the lab. Short week. They'll have their home opener on Sunday as they host the Houston Texans. Well, Danny, disappointment here in the Emerald City for Russell Wilson, but he was very gracious. He spoke fondly of Seattle and the city of Seattle after the game, and truly was a man about tonight's loss to the Seahawks. Reporting from Lumen Field, Rob Namnoon for KRDO News Channel 13 Sports.